Hi everyone, it's Kara. I have a card that I want to share with you today. It is actually the first of what I hope will be 14 for Valentine's Day. Various cards and maybe a project or two. It just depends on how much time I have and if I can get all the ideas in my head actually done. The first one I'm going to start off with is pretty simple, and it's using some felt embellishments from Cat Scrappiness, this little puppy dog. This little guy comes in I think a package of 6, and I believe she has them made in brown and black, but Cat is really fantastic about doing the shapes in different colors. So should you want him in another color, you can ask her, and if she has that felt, she's usually pretty happy to do that for you. In addition to this little guy, I am using, oops, sorry about hitting the camera, using the paper from this paper collection, which is a Christmas one. I've told myself I need to try and use more of my supplies, and there's quite a bit of red paper in here, so I went ahead and pulled some of that to use. And then I am using one of my new stamp sets. This is Amy R. Stamp Sentiments. It's Hearty Sayings. So I'm using that, and these are, I started to cut them apart to use them, but you're basically already mounted. You just have to cut them apart. So that's what I'm using. And what I'm going to end up making, hopefully very quickly with you guys, is this little card. And I don't know if you can see that sentiment. Hopefully you can. Really cute. And then I don't typically do a lot inside my cards. That may change down the road, but right now I keep it pretty simple. So I just stamped this in there. Sending warm thoughts wrapped in love and sealed with a kiss. So that's card number 1, and I'm going to show you how I put it together. I pretty much have everything kind of pre-cut and ready to go, so hopefully this won't take too long. I have a card base made from the craft cardstock over at Paper Tray Ink. And then I'm using a couple of the reds, like I said, from that Echo Park paper. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a ton of different kinds of adhesive. And the one I'm using today is this one. It's just a little one I picked up one day when I was desperate because I was almost out. And it was on sale. It's Thermoweb, and it's just a small little runner. And what I'm trying to do, because I do have so many different types of adhesive, both like the liquid glues and the tape runners, that I'm just trying to use them up and determine which one I really like. So you'll probably see me use a different variety, which, for a while. I do have the pink ATG gun, and I really like that. But when I'm doing something like this, I don't really want to haul that big thing out. And this particular white cardstock that I'm using is just the version of Recollections, I think, from Michaels. When I'm doing, like, background pieces behind patterned paper, I don't like to use my expensive good white cardstock, so I tend to keep this, not that this is bad cardstock, but it's not very thick. So I tend to keep the cardstock that I use for card bases and Copic coloring. I save that, and I don't use it with these things. So, and then I have somewhere an adhesive. Oh, again, I have some of these adhesive squares from Recollection. I hadn't been using a lot of Recollection stuff, and I tried it out, and it's actually pretty good. So I may end up getting more of this when I'm out. So I'm going to pop this part of the card up. So I'm just putting a few of these on. And I never know exactly how many to put, so I just put as many as I think I need to kind of hold the whole thing up and to not have the inside smushed down, if that makes any sense. Oops. And then I just try to center this kind of in here. Okay, there's that. And I could have done this first because I would have normally, but I wasn't thinking about it. put this on the card. I try not to use more adhesive than I think I need, depending on what I'm doing, obviously, because that's, I think, what most of us use the most of is that adhesive, and that stuff gets expensive. So I don't think we always need to put it all over everywhere for it to last. And then I have tried different ways of mounting the felt. I have some of the Express It tape in the rolls. That works if you want to put it on the back and peel it off. I also like to use my glossy accents. That works quite a bit as well. So that's actually what I think I'm going to use this time, just to save time. It doesn't take long to dry, and I keep, because mine tend to clog, I keep a stick pin nearby so that I can open that up if it gets stuck. Okay, and then I will put a little of that here. Again, I don't like to use more than I have to. So I just tend to put a little bit. I do want them to stick though. And as long as you use a light amount, I haven't had any issues with this going through the felt. You know, having like kind of a wet look come through the felt. It will take a few minutes to dry, of course. But everything I've used glossy accents on always sticks, so that's great. I really like that. And then I'm going to take one of these little hearts that I've pre-made. I just stamped it on there. This heart is a die cut from Paper Tray Ink. I'm going to take one of the smaller ones for the back of this. I want that to pop up, and then I just kind of put it right between the puppy dogs, like so. And then I have 3 brown buttons. I had left it like this at first, and it's cute, but like I said before, I like to embellish. It's my favorite thing about anything I make, is putting all the extras, and I just couldn't leave those blank spots. On the back of these buttons, I'm going to just use a little bit of that Express tape, just because, again, it's handy, and I'm trying to use it up. I'm probably going to try some of that red line tape next, I think. I like the Express tape, but there are times where I want something that's going to hold a little bit more firmly than this sometimes does on some of my paper projects. So I do want to try something else. I did, resist the urge to use twine, which was difficult because if you've watched my videos before, you know I love twine. Bring that down a little bit more. But I did resist. I was good. And I already stamped the inside of this card, so that's already there in preparation for this. So there is the second little card. Didn't take long. Of course, I had it all pre-cut. The card itself, by the way, is 5.5 by 4 1/4. It's your standard card size. I didn't give the measurements on the paper pieces because it all depends on how much of a white border you want. This one has a little bit more white on the sides. I kind of like the way that made that paper pop, and I wanted it to match the edges of this mat where it fell. So there's the card. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I hope you liked it. And these little guys can be found over on Cat Scrappiness on Etsy, and I will leave the link down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.